Hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. And kung bago ka sa channel na to, I'm Za and this is Za Canada. And today we have a new episode and this is one of the news na pinag-uusapan ngayon. And in fact, it was aired in CBC a couple of days ago. And it's all about Canada deporting almost 400 people per week. At ito yung pinakamabilis na pace since the last decade sa nakaraang 10 taon. So today we are going to break it down. What's going on? Bakit nagkaganito? Sino yung mga naapektuhan at ano ang epekto nito sa communities? Panoorin hanggang dulo. So first, ang news is ang Canada Border Services Agency or CBSA ay nagre-report na around 400 deportations per week, which is the fastest rate in the last decade. Nandyan yung link sa baba kung gusto nyong panoorin yung actual CBC news. But it's linked to government efforts to reduce population growth and stricter immigration policies. So kung matatandaan nyo, I also made a vlog about the C-12 or the Bill C-12, a border and refugee bill, at kung maipasa yan, since I mentioned in my previous vlog that it's a proposal, at kung maipasa pa yan, that could intensify, mas mapapabilis, mas madadagdagan, at mas maraming mapapauwi. Which means it could intensify deportation even more if it gets into a rule or if it gets into a bill kapag naipasa nila. Who are these people that are being deported? Sino-sino ba yung mga taong na-deport? The first one is, sabi dun sa report, is the failed refugee claimants. Which means that those people who applied for refugee claim but hindi nakapasa. Na-refuse yung application nila. But still, they're still staying here in Canada without status. And some of them are also non-compliant temporary residents, which means that includes international students, visitor visa, and temporary foreign workers. So, yun nga, most people have negative decisions and some of them violated visa conditions or overstayed. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng violated visa conditions? Ibig sabihin, halimbawa, nakalagay pala dun sa visa condition mo, you are not allowed to work in a healthcare or an educational facility. But suddenly, there was a raid, natagpuan ka na nagtatrabaho pero nakalagay sa work permit mo na you are not allowed, then that may be one of the reasons for you to be deported. Or sometimes, common to sa work permit, yung if you are working in an adult entertainment industry, ayan, pag nahuli ka dyan sa mga ganyang industry at nakalagay sa work permit mo that you are not allowed, and if you were found guilty, then deportation ang kapalit niyan. And of course, overstayed, which means that, for example, if your status or if your work permit is only valid up until this day, then you have to make an effort to extend it. If you did not make an effort to extend it, or if you did not contact IRCC to process your work permit or yung status mo dito sa Canada, then that will cause you deportation too. So, hindi naman sila automatic criminals, okay? Hindi naman porket na-deport sila criminal sila. It's just that karamihan lang sa kanila is hindi nakapasang refugee claimant or didn't follow immigration terms. And why are these incidents happening? Again, they have implemented a stricter border enforcement. Government pushes tough immigration measures. Alam naman natin na for the past 2 years na simula na dumating kami, masyadong naghigpit ang immigration doon sa mga pumapasong international student, visitor, napakaraming ginagawang rules para mapababa yung immigration level. Next is backlogs in asylum processing. There are a lot of asylum claimants built up over the years. Kaya nangyayari na dumadami yung nade-deport din. Most probably nag-apply pala ng asylum, but they are not qualified, but they still stay in this country. 'Di ba? Kasi yung iba, when it comes to asylum claim kasi yan, most of the reasons that I've heard is hindi ako makabalik sa country na kung saan ako nagmula kasi may threat sa buhay ko. Or kapag bumalik ako doon, wala na akong pamilya doon, wala akong pamilyang babalikan. And these are just one of the reasons. So kung hindi masyadong malakas yung paperworks mo or yung documents na ipapakita mo kay IRCC, then that could be one of the reasons why na ma-deport ka. Diba? And new laws like bills, as I mentioned earlier, new laws like Bill C-12 that change eligibility for claiming asylum. So, kung maipasa nga si Bill C-12, then there are stricter measures. There are stricter rules or regulation para makapag-file si applicant ng asylum. And lastly is political pressure around housing and services. So we all know that one of the reasons why naging stricto ang Canada dahil sa immigration, dahil ang daming nawalan ng bahay or ang daming hindi makahanap ng bahay, ng murang bahay. Tumaas yung presyo ng mga renta. 'Di ba? Sobrang taas ng presyo ng rent prices ng mga bahay. But as far as I know, lately meron na mga mura. And definitely healthcare. Healthcare is one of the biggest na nai-impact or naaapektuhan ng immigration. So the higher the people, syempre, maraming kailangang attendan ng health, right? So kung kulang yung mga nurse or doktor at napakaraming tao, then that will cause delay, especially dun sa mga taong pumupunta sa ospital. And let's talk about the human side. So imagine bilang student or family with work permits, tapos nawala ng ganun lang. Some of the people have already built lives, friends, jobs, communities. Tapos some are deported while their appeals are ongoing. So there are some people na may appeal sila, but then again they were suddenly deported kasi sa ganitong reason, sa ganitong mga policies nga. But then again, we always have to understand that this is their government. This is Canada, 'di ba? And again, in this vlog, I'm just telling you all of the side of the story na hindi lahat agree. Meron supporters na sabi dapat mas mahigpit yung reinforcement or enforcement ng rules. lalo na sa mga criminals or sa visa overstays dahil nandoon yung safety and legal order. Pero may mga human rights advocates naman na saying it's too harsh and damaging to Canada's humanitarian reputation. So it's really a very complex issue. Maraming anggulo, maraming side ang dapat tingnan. And bago magtapos ang video na to, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Can you comment below kung dapat lang bang maghigpit ang Canada when it comes to this type of situation or mas humane ang immigration enforcement dito sa Canada? I would like to hear your thoughts. Okay? So, kung nagustuhan nyo itong episode na to, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Happy holidays, Happy New Year sa lahat ng mga tao dito sa Canada at lahat ng mga nanonood sa channel na to. At pagpalain kayo ngayong 2026. Okay, at laging tatandaan, hindi kailangan maraming pera, basta may peace of mind. By the way, lumalakad nga pala yung email address ko dyan sa baba. If you have any inspiring stories, questions, or anything under the sun that is related in this channel, feel free to send me an email. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.